Hey YouTube, this is Southern Prepper One. I've been talking to some individuals that are not preppers. A few of them are very successful business people. A few of them are actually hardly getting by. None of these guys and gals are preppers. So they find me interesting that I am preparing. As we went through on the conversation, I think I made some headway with a couple of the people. But overall, people are not seeing this freight train coming down the track, and they're standing in the center of the track. And they're going to get hit, and they're going to get devastated. Preppers on YouTube and preppers overall, prepare for a situation. And I don't care what you're preparing for. First of all, prepare spiritually. You will one day die unless the Lord comes back and raptures you, but you will die. And then your biggest prep will be determined. What did you do with his free gift of salvation? Did you accept it or did you reject it? And that's the ultimate, heaven or hell. So make sure that prep is taken care of. After that, I'm going to give you some facts. You can't argue with these facts. These are facts. It's not that asteroid's going to fall on you. We're going to get nuked. Bioweapons going to be, released across the United States. No, facts. September 2023, we hit $33 trillion. A few months later, January of 2024, we went up to $34 trillion. July of 2024, we hit $35 trillion. Then 2 days after that, we went up to $35.124 trillion. So I'm really looking for some huge jumps, 50 billion, 100 billion jumps till the end of the year. I think we've exhausted all the tax revenue that's come in, and I think that's why we're seeing these big jumps now. I think the biggest number to watch is defense spending. I think it's up at $912 billion for the year. The number right underneath that is $908 billion. That's interest on the debt. Interest for this year, $908. I expect in 3-4 days, the interest on the debt will be more than what we spend in total defense. And that's astonishing, seeing we're like in every country with our military. We're poking our nose in everybody's business. So we're going to be spending more just on the interest than we do on defense. You can fast forward 4 years down the road at the current rate of spending. They're predicting by 2028, our debt, which is about a little over 35 trillion, will be 46.7 trillion in 4 years. That's like $11 trillion in 4 years. If that alone can't sink into non-preppers' heads that we're in a serious situation, there's no hope for them. I've given up on them. Don't even want to talk to them. You live your life the way you want to live your life, in the sense of spend your money where you want to spend your money. Don't prepare for uncertain times. But these are the same people that are going to whine and cry and complain and say, all these preppers have hoarded all this food they need to share with us. I'm going to feel bad for them. I'll do my best to help people that are deserving of help. But you know what? You just got to kick the dust off your feet and move on. The 2028 numbers are almost 148% of GDP compared to the debt. That's going to crush our economy. We're seeing numbers now coming out for employment, manufacturing. Everything is pointing to a recession. So these numbers could get worse if we go into a recession. So in 2028, they're saying we're going to spend $4 trillion a year just to pay the interest. During that 2028, they're projecting we'll spend $2.4 trillion on Medicare, a little over $2 billion on Social Security, $1.5 trillion on defense, and $4 trillion on interest. I looked the numbers up. It was only we're going to take in, I don't know, 6 or 7 trillion. I'm not sure what it is, but the majority of that money is going to have to go to pay the interest. This alone should be spoken to by any leader in any industry, from from if you own a business, if you're a preacher, a pastor, you should be telling your congregation that there is a storm cloud coming. You should rely on, trust in the Lord Jesus Christ that he's going to take care of you. But the reason that storm cloud's coming, that's to give you warning. So you can prepare, like Joseph prepared for 7 years, stocked up for the famine. You are being warned. So if you're in any position to influence people, you need to influence them. You don't need to scare them and say, the end of the world is here. Asteroids are going to land on your house. You're going to die. No. Take them to the government numbers. Show them what's happening. Doesn't matter who's elected coming up. Democrat, Republican, they both love to spend lots and lots and lots of money. Money we don't have. We should be, leaders today should be saying, we got to cut. We got to cut. We got to cut. At least maybe stop the deficit spending. They can't even stop the deficit spending. So they're not even thinking about, there's no one thinking about how we're going to repay this $35.124 trillion. No one's even talking about it. Barely a few are talking about reducing the growth rate, not stopping it and trying to balance our budget every year. No one's, hardly anyone's talking about that. They're saying, well, we're going to cut the deficit because instead of spending $5 trillion on all these projects, we're only going to spend $2.5 trillion. So look, we cut it by 50%. They haven't cut anything. It's a numbers game. So if you're watching this and you're not a prepper, and you probably made fun of preppers, you laugh at those crazy doomsday preppers, you need to just look at these numbers. Unsustainable. We could be going into a recession. It could be a bad recession. If it's a bad recession, government will have to spend more. Government will take in less income from taxes. So these numbers could be worse in 4 years. So I say all of this, and I don't tell you anything to do that I don't do. I am preparing for an economic collapse. That's what I'm preparing for. I'm preparing for another Great Depression. I'm preparing for shortages. I'm preparing for lawlessness, which any major city right now is lawlessness. The reports I'm getting from law enforcement officers saying that they're not being told not to arrest people, to turn the other way, look the other way, is unbelievable. It just creates lawlessness. Look at the shoplifting that's going on. It's going to get worse. When people get desperate, they're going to steal. And that increase will... So, what am I doing to prepare for this? On this piece of property, I'm getting ready to basically, what my goal is to shut the gates, lock them, what I have on the property to sustain myself. So, you can stock a bunch of food, but after you run out of your last can of Beanie Weenies, what are you going to eat? So, yes, put a stockpile in, put food back. But also you got to think about that sustainability. What am I going to do? Get some, if you're in a city where you can have a few chickens, get some chickens. But think of this. A lot of people say, oh yeah, I'm self-sufficient. I don't have to go buy eggs. I get extra eggs. I give them away or sell them. But they're not telling you that they have to go to the store every week or every month and buy 50-pound sacks of feed. So think about that. I can't get any feed. What can I use on my property? Can I grow some stuff? Or maybe you need to stock some corn and grind it yourself. That will let that, it will last longer in storage. So you need to be actively thinking sustainability. Rain catchment, a water filter, a garden, fruit trees. Also, sustainability is networking. It's friends, it's neighbors, it's family. You need to be working really, really hard on that. Today, people are very lonely. I talk to them all the time. They don't have friends. Some of them say, Dave, I've been burned too many times. And for that, I'm sorry. You need to have relationships with as many people as possible to get you through what's coming. You on your own with your, you and your wife, and you say, no, I'm fine. You're not fine. Eventually that tooth is going to hurt and you're going to need to know a dentist or maybe even a dental hygienist that has some knowledge of what to do. A lot of people say, Dave, you don't trust God. What are you prepping for? God's going to take care of you. I do trust God. And if God says prepare, then you prepare. Now, when your preparations become your only thing you're thinking about, that is wrong. When you would rather say, I don't need to go to church tonight. You know, I can work in the garden, or I could do this or that. Now, if you have to work in the garden because you have to do it, you have to do it. But if you put that in front of your spiritual growth, your relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ, then you made prepping an idol. And that's definitely not what we want. So, you can go too far in prepping. Becomes an idol, becomes an obsession, and takes you away from what you need to do. You hear that rooster? That's my neighbor's rooster. If you're in an area that you can't hear roosters, you can't hear chickens, you're probably in the wrong area. Not sustainable. So, trust in the Lord, but He gives us common sense. He gives us the ability to see that storm cloud coming. Prepare for it. Prepare, prepare, prepare. You need to switch your whole thinking now. It needs to be in survival mode. I'm sorry to tell you that. You might need to put off that very, very expensive vacation. Now, if you can take a vacation, it doesn't affect your finances, go on vacation. But if you're going to say, I got to go on vacation, I'm going to put it on my credit card, I'm going to spend a couple $1,000s, that's probably the wrong answer. Some might say, Dave, rack your credit card up as high as you want because, you know, you don't have to pay it if everything collapses. I think that's immoral. You know, knowing that you might not have to pay it, I think is wrong. If you're going to pay it back and something happens, you break your leg, you lose your job, that's another situation. But going out to jack that credit card up, to screw the company that's loaning you that money, to me is wrong. I don't want to be in any debt. And that's what we do here. No debt. Debt is bad. Debt is, you're a slave to the debt. Literally, you're a slave. I hate it. Some of you are in debt right now, up to your eyeballs. You're going to have to make tough decisions. Do you sell the house? Do you move? Do you condense way down? Those are decisions you have to make. But now is the time to make those decisions, not when you turn on the news and see the stock market's down 27% and massive layoffs and you lose your job. It's harder to make corrections in your lifestyle then. Now is the time. Get rid of cable TV. Get rid of cable TV. If you say, Dave, I have hardly any money left to prep, but you spend $127. I know a guy that spends $127 on cable. Now, if you're a millionaire, $127 is nothing. But if you're just eking by, think about cutting that. Think about projects at your house that need to be done. If you got available cash and your roof is getting, man, in 3 or 4 years, my roof's not going to need to be replaced, replace your roof now. I'm doing it. I have a section of roof that probably could get 5 more years out of it. It's getting torn off as I speak. As soon as I'm done with this video, I'm going up there to help Nate finish that up. I'm looking at the underlayment underneath it, the plywood underneath it. If the plywood's even a little bit bad. Actually, we're replacing some that is not bad at all, but I'm going with a little thicker. So we're doing that. We're doing whatever we can because who says in 2 years I'm going to have the available money? I'm going to be able to get plywood. I'm going to be able to get shingles. If you're thinking about your roof, go with a metal roof. Standing seam roof is the best. I wish I could go with it with mine. Some of the other buildings have the metal on it. This building right here, the building over there. The house does not. The next time I do that roof, it will be standing seam metal roof. Probably won't be available at that time or the cost will be so high. But sustainability, value every dollar. I talk to people that have had good jobs in the past and they're getting evicted out of their apartments. They're getting evicted out of their house. And I'm like, you've made more money than I did. Where did you spend all your money? The American people are like, you get some money in and you got to go spend it and buy it. You need to save, you need to conserve, you need to use it wisely. A lot of people have learned that the hard way after they get evicted. They said, dang, did I need 3,700 square foot or a 4,000 square foot house? Do I need a 2,000 square foot house? Get debt free. I've rambled enough. the numbers should prove to you that, first of all, yes, spread the gospel, spread the good news, priority one. After that, prepare individually, and then try to help as many people get prepared and build a network. Go find a guy that has a milk cow in your area. Go find the person that has 40 apple trees. Build a relationship with them. Rambled enough. Thanks for watching.